Hey, it's Romy. Welcome to the channel, Virgo. This is your May 2021 soul story. So if you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, you might find that this general reading just helps to give you a little bit of extra insight as you work your way through the next few weeks. So we're into Taurus energy, 9th house, and we're opening up with the energy of the lovers. It feels to me that it should be an opportunity for you to consider a new horizon of ease. You know, if there are doors that are not opening, if you are having to beg to have somebody open the door, or if you're even questioning if it is the right door for you, then it's a pretty strong indication that you're not where you need to be, or certainly you're not directing your energy to the right place, because what the energy of the stars are showing us right now is a time when there are choices that are coming for us, but those choices are here to deliver us a greater degree of ease, to bring us back into union and harmony with the right people, the right opportunities, the right experiences, and the right thoughts. And I have a sense that through the course of May, you're really going to be catching a glimpse of something beautiful, Virgo. And it might not have fully manifested yet, but certainly the grounding into goodness that Taurus can deliver for you, especially with that 9th house energy just helping to open up your world, open up your mind and the way that you are choosing to interpret the possibilities. It's really going to be a very productive time. Now, you may well be presented with a series of choices through the course of May, and it may feel in some regards like you're not going to immediately see what the fallout of those choices are going to do by way of an impact on your pathway. But I have a sense that by the time you come out of the month, you're actually going to realise just quite how life-changing they were. You know, life is really just a series of very small, brave acts at times. And it's not that we ever get completely free of the fear. And we're not really asking you to do that either. What we are doing is inviting you to consider ways in which you can start to disarm the feelings that are holding you back or creating less than desirable energies that are really stopping you from receiving the things that are meant for you. Now, your Four of Wands is indicating that we, through the choices that we're going to be making in May, are putting some powerful new foundations in place that we do want to celebrate. You know, some of you may be very clear upon the ideas of what you want to do in and around the space in which you operate. I feel like whether it be house moves, whether it be changes of location in and around your work, whether about just be creating space that's very much for you, so that you can utilize that to be able to dedicate some time or just have quietness to be able to process, reflect, and kind of work out what your new plan, or even helping you to come to terms with some of these choices and decisions that you're going to be making. I think in that consideration, this is where we start to see the glimpse of something really quite exceptional. And I suppose in that there's also this moment, I feel, Virgo, where you're also going to be clearly shown what's been distracting you from seeing your own progress, because I think that there's a requirement here for you to actually celebrate your accomplishment. Now, we've got two figures in the lovers and we have two figures in the Four of Wands here. So I think for many of you there is an emphasis and a focus around partnerships, around a connection, somebody that you are looking to move forward with. Now, it might not be romantic for all of you, but I certainly think that there are going to be important discussions and negotiations. Now, May as a month energetically is really delivering a flood of information. You know, we have a lot of planets moving into Gemini, Mercury on the 3rd of the month, and then on the 8th, Venus moves into the sign. We're also going to be coming up against retrograde season. So Saturn turns on the 23rd and then Mercury on the 29th, meaning it's going to be staying in Gemini from the 3rd of May right through to the 22nd of June. So, the opportunity to have dialogue and narrative, both with others and with the self, is going to be really important, kind of really ironing out the details, making new plans. Being adaptable and flexible is going to be important for sure, because we're coming into eclipse season as well, where we can expect the kind of wild card energy to throw a few spanners in the works. And that's a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Sagittarius on the 26th, which is in that 4th house of home and family. So that may also be impacting some of these choices and decisions that you're going to be making. But at the same time, it shouldn't feel like anything new, because that's the third in the chapter. If you go back to June 5th of last year and also December 14th, you're going to get an appreciation of what is coming back around to kind of reach a crescendo or to a final point of closure and release. And sometimes accepting that there are things that you can't accept, it's also a way to help to bring you peace, because actually I have quite a peaceful energy that's coming in here. So we've got Two of Cups, again, this union coming, this partnership. But I also just feel this strong emphasis in and around choice that's coming up. And you need to be careful that that's not going to split your energy. So this new horizon of ease that we're looking for, we want you to feel that the choices can be progressive and exciting and something that you can anticipate from a place of balance and certainty, not looking at it as feeling like it's an anxiety-fueled state of being. And it is about what we're going to put in place to start to disarm anything that's going to come up to try to I suppose, get in the way, so that you start to end up in a slightly self-sabotage state of mind. So just be a little bit aware of that. Certainly what we're looking at here is a beautiful opportunity, if you choose to direct your energy and your focus in that way, to see some really meaningful progress in the things and the people that you feel passionate, engaged, excited and aligned with. And because we're working through both 9th and 10th house, there is quite a strong emphasis for many of you in terms of how you want to progress some of the visions and the plans and what you're trying to achieve by way of your career, anything business related. But of course, this is also going to be impacting strongly in and around relationships in different areas of your life. So wherever you are really looking to see that level of shift and change, May is a month that can deliver it, and it can deliver it rapidly and perhaps quite unexpectedly. What we need you to be doing is making sure that your mindset is focused on that idea of things feeling effortless and easy, and accepting that this is a time now when you do get to receive some of the rewards, and you do get to understand that a lot of what you've been investing your energy in, is ready and ripe to start to make its way back to you. We have a beautiful new moon in the sign of Taurus coming in on the 11th of the month. It has a lovely alignment with Pluto, the planet of transformation, and also Neptune. So not only are our dreams being activated with the opportunity of setting out those new intentions, we've also got this profound depth of Pluto that's coming in to allow this real revolution to take place. Your Six of Swords, an indication of the voyage of discovery and also the rite of passage that you've been on. And she's sitting up high in the clouds here with a beautiful vantage point, ready to drop her anchor. And it's coming from this really beautiful, almost like North Star. And you can see it almost looks like this paradise island, isn't it? So it's almost like you're getting ready or preparing yourself to anchor or align or root into something that feels really luscious and beautiful and right for you. Now, maybe your experience is you don't know what that is yet, or you feel like you're still very far away from it. And of course, the Six of Swords is a journeying. So, what we appreciate is, even if you're not seeing the full manifestation of it yet, and yet Taurus season will deliver some tangible results. And remember what I said about catching the glimpse of something beautiful. But what we're also seeing here is that it's a recognition that you're still on the journey. You know, you're still on the journey, but you have this gorgeous energy of this North Star that's calling you, that's guiding you. And we really want you to listen into that intuitive knowing that's constantly going to be speaking to you through the course of this month, even when you feel a little bit conflicted about some of the choices and decisions that might be presented to you. Right after that new moon in Taurus, we have Jupiter moving into the sign of Pisces that it feels really comfortable in. And of course, Pisces is your opposite sign. So, you know, a little bit of an emphasis on what's going to happen in and around relationships. So it's not a surprise to see, you know, some of these loving energies showing up for you in the month of May. What you might find is that new people enter on the scene, or you might have the opportunity to reacquaint, fall back in love, or see and appreciate something new in partners or in the energies and connections of people around you. When we then get into the second part of the month and the sun entering Gemini, lighting up that 10th house energy, there is going to be a very firm focus for you stepping up. And we've got this beautiful Three of Wands here. It almost looks like Rapunzel with all her hair kind of cascading down, but she's holding this ship ready to kind of set sail for new horizons, for uncharted territories. And I do think that you're going to have a bold, confident, assertive outlook toward the end of the month. And that's probably following the realization of some of the choices and maybe coming to terms with them, and actually just coming into a place of peace and making the decision. So if you felt like you've been on the fence for a while with something, or your energy's been split, or it hasn't felt like the right time, I think there's something coming in through the month of May that almost says, okay, it's like now or never. She's got quite a determined, almost like sassy kind of energy that I feel going on, which I really like for you as well, because I think you can bring that into situations where you are looking to be heard, looking to be seen, and also just giving yourself that nice boost of inner confidence. And it's going to radiate out from you. It's going to make you really nice and magnetic through the course of this month. And you know, when we get these eclipse energies coming in, they can bring a lot of unexpected news that comes our way, but you're certainly looking like you're in a position, both with the Three and the Four of Wands, of being steady and grounded enough to deal with whatever is going to be coming your way. You may be someone who is absolutely holding space for someone else who's going to be really going through a deep, profound transition process, but even if it is yourself as well, I think that you are handling things really exceptionally well, even if it doesn't feel like that. You've got a lot of birds that are all kind of moving around the image here, so I feel like there's a lot of people vying for your attention. There's a lot of people ready to kind of come and swoop in and almost looking for scraps and crumbs, and you know, so there's something a little bit kind of bun fight or chaotic that seems to be going on around you. Maybe you have something that other people want, or you know, there's some beautiful moments of success, abundance, sweetness that comes in that are just going to attract a lot of people, a lot of interest, particularly where work is concerned. You know, all of these beautiful hair swirls that are coming down here suggest to me that you are almost like ready for work. You want to kind of keep it out of your way. You know, everything's plaited here tightly so that you can be utterly focused on where you're going. But there's also a lovely kind of free-spirited aspect to this hair, you know, so it's not like you're getting too formalized in things. There's something still very fluid and flexible and unique to you, kind of letting your natural essence shine through. But at the same token, like, I feel you kind of mean business in some aspects, and you're probably going to need that. There is going to be a time where you can be exceptionally productive, Virgo, and so I want you to especially use that time in the mid part of the month where that new moon comes in to really take advantage of anything that you are trying to achieve or trying to kind of lay out, or even if it's productive conversations that you want to have before we get too close to that Mercury retrograde in the sign of Gemini. your high priestess here, like I said, intuition guiding you. You're kind of pulling back the veil, pulling back the curtain, but the work that you've been doing has been behind the scenes. So there is something about you readying or preparing yourself to launch or to take something out, or even to discuss or share with somebody what you've been thinking, what you've been feeling, and sort of laying your plans out. There's still, I suppose, a little bit of an energy around the consideration of when you want to deliver that. And I almost have this sense, Virgo, that you might decide that there's a specific day or a specific time when you're going to do that, and then for whatever reason something might come up and you change your mind, or you make a last minute edit or a shift to something. So I think that's going to work in your favor. So don't be too concerned if like some of the plans that you put in place end up shifting or moving, but you are the one to make the move. Just because you get a strong hunch or a gut feeling, today's not the day. Today's just not the day. And we know and we feel that you're going to be right with that. And for whatever reason that's had to happen, when you do hit upon the right moment, it's going to work so much more beautifully for you. So just trust in yourself in that regard, okay? There is this feeling of... I almost want to say detoxification that's also coming through, and I feel like you're going to be quite clearly deciding on who and what you want to clear out through the course of the next few weeks. And you know, when we have these eclipses, they often bring in opportunities for things to break down, to break open, and to break up. And I think what you are breaking up clearly with here is the drama, is the chaos, is the feeling of just being in the middle of energy that is just holding you back from getting on with things that are really important to you now. And I just have this vibe of you just not having time for people who just don't want to try to progress situations. It's like anyone that is trying to keep you in old conversations that you have been over like a million times before. I just feel you get really exhausted and drained really, really quickly. Now, with the retrograde season coming in, of course, there is this energy of us needing to return, to reevaluate and reacquaint ourselves with certain things. But remember, it's not about going backwards, it's about going inwards. It's a really important distinction, okay? And so anyone or anything that is trying to pull you back into an old situation, I don't see you really being particularly enamored or inspired to do so. And I would say that that's absolutely the right decision in this instance. Now you can see this is almost like a chessboard that she's got with her skirt here and these players, and it's also something about you calculating, I suppose, a little bit politically the right move to make. And so I think there may be quite a delicate political situation where you're going to have to think before you consider what your next move's going to be. Perhaps there's an awareness that it might explode or blow up, or that there's a lot more of a charged energy behind it, and so we have to be a little bit more mindful. Again, perhaps that's directly related to some of the choices that you're going to be making or that you have already made at the moment, Virgo. But certainly what we want to do is to release some of the inner conflict that you're feeling. And if we have this mantra of this being like a time where there is a new horizon of ease, we want to work on these thought forms as they're surfacing and identify where they're trying to hold us back. The beautiful observation of what is ego and what is higher spiritual energy that's coming through is going to get clearer and clearer for you through the course of this month, and that's going to serve you really well. Don't get involved in the petty stuff. It's just not going to be worth your while. And like I said here, when I've got this kind of vibing of this sort of bun fight or this almost quarrelling energy that's all around, it's just going to distract you from things that you need to get done. So we've got the energy of the moon coming through here. It does link into the sign of Pisces. I see you reaching for something, and it's almost like you're trying to go deep into your own subconscious and to figure out, what is this about? Like, why is this showing up? What is it I'm trying to kind of like come into a place of harmony and understanding with. And there might be moments toward the end of the month, Virgo, where you feel it's just out of grasp. It's almost like you're trying to, you're on the edge of something, of like understanding something, or of coming into harmony, or like the moment of kind of that epiphany, and yet it just feels like it's just out of reach. That moon energy is going to clear through, so don't let yourself get frustrated with it. But having both High Priestess and moon energy also suggests to me there is an awful lot of hidden information that's set to come to the surface through the course of this month. So if you yourself are trying to keep things on the down low, just be aware that that eclipse energy could come in and blow things wide open. So anything that you want to be mindful about not sharing out, just consider the way that things might happen, and maybe have some strategies or some plans in place as a result of that. I also feel though that you are considering or preparing to share information that perhaps you haven't up to this point, and that again is also important by way of some of the choices and decisions that are going to be coming in. You can see these kind of tendrils coming from the octopus almost. It feels like you are feeling your way into situations. But again, she's sat up on the wall here, and there's this observation of kind of looking out into the distance, a little bit like your Three of Wands here. And there's something on the horizon that you're seeing, that you're catching sight of, that the moon is illuminating for you, that is unlocking something really wonderful within you and for you. And I want you to trust in that. Sometimes with that moon energy, we can doubt ourselves a little bit, or what we're feeling. And it's not a time for you to do that, okay? It's a time for you to understand that each and every choice that you make through the course of this month, however small, however insignificant it might feel, is going to be revealing a huge trajectory shift for you in the next few weeks. Okay, so we have the energy of the devil coming through here. And I think it is in some instances what you are trying to release yourself from. If we look at the illusion of the moon and the devil combined, it's kind of some murky energy going on there. So it may just be a situation, a person, or even an aspect of your shadow self that is really being brought up into the light that we have to now address. Like, we can't move forward. It's like we've got so far, and you need to celebrate and praise yourself for the work that you've done at a deeper soul level to get to this point. But it is a continuation, and there's an acknowledgement now that says, without dealing with this issue or this thing, we're only ever going to keep hitting like a certain ceiling, and we want to break through that and go far beyond it. Okay, so there's something quite powerful about you coming up against something, and once you break free from that, you really start to tap into a greater degree of limitlessness that you've ever experienced before. And of course, the devil does link into the energy of Saturn. We're moving into the Saturn retrograde from the 23rd. When these planets station retrograde or direct, they are very uncomfortable as we kind of adjust to the new rhythm. So expect that might kind of wake you up a little bit with a kind of almost sharp jolt into drawing your attention back to something that you had been avoiding, or sort of swept to the side, or not fully had the chance to kind of see all the way through. I see the devil in your energy through the course of May as just being a really important teacher to just say, we're not going any further till we deal with this. And that isn't a negative in any way, shape or form, Virgo. That's something that's actually going to be really conducive to your progress and you breaking free to a new level. Of course, with all of the love energy that's coming through, it also brings a tremendous amount of desire. And so that desire to be with somebody, or that's coming from the connection, could also be really, really lit up. And you might be keeping things quite secretive and quite behind closed doors, which sort of adds intensity to situations as well. But just be a little bit careful. Like I said, the capacity for things to just get kind of exposed or brought up out into the open, if you don't want that to be the case, is quite high through the course of this month. So Your flower medicine card is Primrose New Love. Okay, so there's a bit of a theme playing out here for your reading in May. And if this isn't a focus on partnerships for some of you, then what is it that we need to bring love and breathe energy back into? You know, whether it's an aspect of work that we do, an aspect of paying closer attention to ourselves. Obviously, all of the Aquarius energy in the Jupiter Saturn transits this year is hitting on that 6th house of well-being and the way that you take care of yourself. I love this bright fuchsia pink kind of coming into what is a little bit more muted in some of the energies, but we also have a lot of red with all of this passion. So you are feeling very connected to your heart chakra through the course of this month, Virgo. And if that has been shut down or you have felt that you've been focused in other areas, just be aware that that's going to come back and open up and really be looking for you to give it some soul tending in terms of helping you to progress on what comes next for you. So these are the Priestess Light cards, and you have Sacred Action, Decisive Focus. I like this. It feels very relevant with the Three of Wands right in the centre of your reading. And I love that the energy of this, I don't know, is it a leopard, a jaguar, is just giving you that kind of utter, like, intuitive, you know, feline, agile, flexible energy, but it's also pushing and urging and encouraging you to make the decisions that have been on your mind and in your heart, and just kind of giving you that burst of okay, it's now or never. Like, I feel that for some of you there's going to be a bit of a it's now or never through the course of May. So let's take a look at the astrological cards, just see what wants to come through. Okay, so 5th house, passion, play, children, confidence and creativity. So this is the house of romance, right? So what do we need to fall back in love with, or whom? Of course, it always starts within the self. But also that confidence, it's the confidence that I really want to take from that as well. Something through the course of this month is going to help you to feel more confident about who you are and choices that you are making, the path that you're on. I really like that for you, Virgo. Okay, so this is a general reading. If you'd like to join me for the extended version, we talk for another 20 minutes or so. You can find the link in the description and the comment section underneath. It's just a way to support the channel and the work that I do. So what I'm going to do is invite you to just think about a question that might not have come out in the main spread, and we'll pull some cards around that for you to cover off in the reading. Alright, so I'm just going to clarify this main spread. So just beginning with the energy of the Lovers, we have the Queen of Cups. The Lovers, of course, does link into the sign of Gemini. That might be relevant for some of you. Of course, coming into Gemini season as well. We also have the Empress. Lots of strong, nurturing, healing energies coming through this month for you. 10 of Wands with the 4 of Wands. And another 5 of Wands energy coming in. Almost just feels like the challenge to get to where you can see that glimpse of something beautiful. It's going to feel like a bit of a test, but you've got the passion to get there. Knight of Wands, 4 of Cups. Even all these 4s coming out in your reading, I really like. I love the star coming in over the 6 of Swords for you. Of course, it does link into an Aquarius energy as well, but it just feels very... Look at this. So we have the healing and the hope following the 10 of Swords here. You know, there's a tremendous sense of closing out chapters coming over the next few weeks. The star is probably an energy we want to see, where we have the Tower and the 10 of Swords, but we'll take a look at that in the extended and the King of Swords. It might be very specific to a certain person or situation. Another 4 coming in here, and Strength. Remember what I said about understanding who or what has been distracting you from seeing your own progress? I think there's going to be such a sense of illumination around that for you this month. Of course, what you do with that next, with that clarity, with that truth. Look at that, Ace of Swords piercing the confusion of the moon, like that for you. Devil and another High Priestess here. Interesting. Okay. Another Two of Cups, Virgo. And Nine of Swords. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you'd like to join me for the extended, I will see you there. Have a beautiful month of May. Take good care.